Hey, all right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And we are here once again. We're going to get right into it. There's a lot going on. And as you see in the title, be on high alert. Right now, I did a lesson, I think it was yesterday, on supposedly Iran, right? There's a message from them that said, that now they're going to start targeting, or basically they said their enemies wouldn't be safe in parks, recreational centers, those kinds of things. So that's pretty much the times that we're in, as now Israel is saying that they're about to escalate attacks on Iran intensely. So, what you're starting to see here is this, this switch control. Oh, set this quick. Hey, Abashma Shabrakatam. Abashma Shabrakatam. So it's like this switch control where now they're controlling events, but they're using like a actual live other nation. Because like usually what they do with these things is they'll have their own like false event set up. They got their little crisis actors and so on and so forth. But when you start messing with countries on the geopolitical level, you're no longer really dealing with crisis actors, right? And that's why the angle that they got to go at it from isn't, oh, this person had a manifesto and this had this and blah blah blah. Now it's propaganda. You got that guy, I forgot his name, something Besson, in Trump's cabinet or his administration. Got- his whole job is to just come out and throw out misinformation, confuse people, and push propaganda and rhetoric. That's literally his whole job. Okay, he comes on there and that's what he comes to say, because what they do is strategic, and they can also gauge who and how many people are actually believing the lies that are being fed versus those that are seeing what's really going on. And now things are escalating to the point. Matter of fact, let's get with Matthew, the 24th chapter, and then Second Ezra, the 9th chapter. So these things are unfolding as Yahweh Shai prophesied, as the scriptures prophesied. And we're in that time. Okay, and it's all happening. That's also going into Ezekiel, was that the 30th chapter? So then shall they know that a prophet has been among them. Guess what? As much as people so-called hate us, and they say, oh, you guys are doing this, you guys are that, they can't knock the fact that what we're saying is coming to pass according to the scriptures. And it's the same thing they did to Yahushua. But what did he say? He said, look, if you're not going to believe me for the very work's sake, because you can't deny the works that I'm doing. And that's why when you had the separation between those of the Pharisees that believed in him and those that didn't, some were saying that no, this guy he got devils on him, and some were saying, look, ain't no way that the Most High is gonna give power like this to somebody who got demons on him. So they were divided because they were seeing the actual power and they couldn't deny that fact. So likewise, we're in the time now where the Lord is going to bring power, but you're starting to see the prophecies come to pass right before your eyes. And you have nowhere else to go for answers but here. And that's why it goes into Amos 8 and 11, that people are going to be looking for answers very soon once this war starts to escalate more and more and more. Because guess what? The country that you're on, which is America, is a main target of these enemies. Okay? It's like they're looking at it in America. Right now, what Trump is doing is he's isolating the U.S., okay? And it starts with the minds of their allies looking at him sideways. They're looking at him like, yo, what's up with this guy, man? He the kind of guy to walk in and just like, boom. That's what America's doing. Like, they got their allies, they just like move them over there, and stand in front of them type shit. You talking, he just cut you off. Like, that's the energy. If you were to personify Babylon and their allies, that's the energy that Babylon is given. Cut you off mid-speech, basically just like brush down whatever you're saying like it's irrelevant. And meanwhile, you're all supposed to be in a group and an alliance but they basically are taking that front stage, saying, "Look, whatever we say goes," and eventually that's going to come to bite Babylon in the ass.
A quick point just to what you were saying about essentially America is being isolated. When you read Jeremiah the 50th chapter, if I'm not mistaken, it goes into, and when you read it, it describes essentially all these nations surrounding Babylon, as if it's like it's isolated in the corner, and all these other nations are coming to attack it. So what you're saying, when you look at things how it's going, America is being isolated. It's separating itself from all its allies, especially with the way Trump talked. I think there was something where it was a lady from Japan, and he said something that was like insulting, and I think she looked at him a kind of way, or she said, "Oh, she's not coming back there anymore." So
Yeah, I think you mentioned Pearl Harbor.
yeah. Oh, it was something about guys weren't surprised, like, "Oh, they should know all about surprise," or something like that.
Pearl Harbor,
It was. So it's like the way he's talking, even the way he talks to reporters, like, "Shut up, shut up." It's like, damn, like you can't talk better than that. You're the leader of the best country in the world. You just over here, shut up, sit down. Fake news and all this type of stuff. It's like, but he's an extension of elites, and what? When you see that type of stuff, it's really showing how the elites really are. And really they're getting frustrated. It's like, enough asking me this and questioning me. Enough. Just take what I'm saying, shut up. Don't question me.
Yeah, and that's the hard part about trying to control the masses, because it's like you have a whole lot of people that are saying different things. They're asking different questions. You can't mind control everybody. You use deception, but you can only get so much, and so that's why they use fear, because fear is a good way to keep somebody quiet. Even if they don't agree with you, if they're afraid of you, they're gonna act like they agree with you at least. What you got on that? Was that Matthew 24, right? If you got anything too, you can bring it out. Hold on.
Yeah, Con, I got a quick point I wanted to make here. Actually, I think it was yesterday, I was talking to one of the guys that I work with, and the whole Iran situation came up. World War III that we're seeing now came up, and basically as we're speaking, I could hear in his spirit that he doesn't see America in danger at all, and that's a beautiful thing that the Lord has done, because when you actually look at it, most Americans today believe that America is invincible, because they actually believe the propaganda of America being the greatest nation, the strongest military. They spend over $900 billion annually on their military. So that must mean that they're the greatest country on earth. But here it is, they're fighting against Iran. I think their military budget is like $10 million a year or some shit. And they're completely bringing America into a brink where you had Hegseth a couple of days ago ask Congress for an additional $200 billion to go to war against Iran. Right? When you already have a budget that's damn near almost $1 trillion, you want to ask another 200 billion? Meanwhile, and then people are saying, yo, you don't have money for the poor, but you have money for war? What's going on? So clearly America is divided. Even when you look at the people, the politicians themselves, you have a division going on. You have those who are pro what Trump and them are doing, and you have those who are against it. Currently, right now, when Hegseth came out and said he's requesting 200 billion, you have people in Congress saying, "No, we're not with that shit. We're not gonna fund that war no more." And those are people in so-called MAGA. So that's again what Yahushua said, that a house divided against itself shall not stand. And this is all leading to civil war. Okay, ultimately the military against its people, which is all going to be part of that time of Jacob's trouble. But you can have civil war. Okay, it's all throughout the scriptures. Okay, now Bukhari did mention something I wanted to bring out real quick. There's a book of Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 33. It says, "And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them." Right. So going back to the point I was making, all right, as I was talking to my boy at work, I told him, I was like, nah, America's going to be destroyed. He was like, nah, America's not going to be destroyed. He said, some people in America, like the Trumps and them, they might get fucked up. But America itself, nah, America is good, bro. America's not going to be destroyed ever. And I said, when he said that, I said, what makes you say that so confidently? Don't you understand that every empire that's ever lived before America's empire actually went down? Do you understand that those who ran Rome never thought Rome was ever going to go down? How do you know that? Because they started to spread themselves thin. They thought they were invincible, just like America is doing right now. We have the greatest military, right, which was prophesied in the book of Daniel. Okay, the beast that had the iron teeth, right? It was diverse from all the other beasts that were before, right? So you consider that. If you look at America's infrastructure and their military today, back during the time of Daniel, he's looking at America's system like, yo, this is a true beast that can be taken down. You see? So America has that ability, which was something the Lord gave them as a trap. Because in their mind, they think they have all the power. They can go around the world and cause harm and get away with it, because who's going to say something against them? Right? Who shall make war against the beast? Right? So that mindset has trickled down to the American people who are ignorant of actual biblical prophecy. They think America is going to be untouched. And that's why it says it's going to come upon them suddenly, because they're not going to see it coming. They believe, and again, when you have a media that's lying to the people and the people actually believe the lies, how they going to ever be prepared for some type of sudden catastrophe? You see? But it's all throughout the scriptures. That's why we constantly warning you of that sudden destruction. It's going to be sudden. It's going to be sudden, just like 9/11 was sudden. And then shortly after that, you had the Patriot Act. I think it was like 45 days after that, the Patriot Act came out, and there was nothing anyone could do about it. Right? It's the same thing. You're going to have another sudden thing that's going to happen. And as a result, the MOTB is going to be made mandatory through the idea of security and safety. Understand that. This is the plan that they have. And we've been warning for years. And now we're at the brink of that. We're at the door of that. Okay? So expect some crazy shit to happen. And remember, let's go back to Ezekiel 33 and 33 says that when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet have been among them. So people going to go back to these videos. They're going to remember the words that we were saying. Like, oh shit, like those prophets, those men, they were the prophets. Right now, people are starting to gravitate towards the words that we say, because everything they're seeing going on around the world is exactly what they hear us talking about all this while. Okay? So again, the prophecies are unfolding, and the Lord is making his name known upon the face of the earth, because it's no longer Jesus Christ and God. It's Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua bringing all these things to pass. All right? Yeah, Brother Scotty.
Yeah, so get that in Matthew 24, start at the top.
This is book of Matthew, chapter 24 and 1, and it reads, and Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down.
Yeah, because they were showing him the temple, but Yahushua already knew that what was going to happen to the temple, right? A couple decades, after he would leave. Okay, so he was telling them. Remember, Yahushua told them, things that would both transpire, or happen, come upon them at that time, meaning during that generation, and also in this time, all right, during the reincarnated generation. All right, go ahead.
And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming?
Because they knew that, because he told them, right? That he has to go, but he's going to come back again. So they said, okay, well, they didn't think that it was going to be 2,000 years later. Definitely didn't think that. So they asked, all right, well, what's going to be the sign of your coming? What's going to be the sign of your return? And these things you're talking about, when are they going to happen? Right? How are we going to know? God?
And at the end of the world.
And when it says the end of the world, they weren't asking about the destruction of, because when people think of end of the world, they think that everything that exists ceased to exist. Yeah, you ask somebody that's all end of the world, why are you so afraid about the end of the world? Well, what is that? What does the end of the world look like? Oh, I don't know. It's just the world is going to end. How does the world end? Define how the world ends. Does it just disappear one day? Does a black hole just swallow everything? Does the earth alone disappear? The sun and the stars, and what? How does the world end? See, so people don't even understand what it means by the end of the world. The world is talking about a period of time, a duration, an age, or a rule. Okay, so what they were inquiring about is what is going to be the end of the age that transpires before you make your return. Because when Yahushua comes back, it's going to be the beginning of a new world. All right, a new age of rulership. And you've had world transitions. Okay, like even in baseball, you have World Series. You've had a whole lot of World Series. Okay, but you've had different ages, from the time of the Assyrians, the Egyptians, the Babylonians. It's all been a different kind of rule. where the known world was dominated by different world powers, and they implemented upon the people and the world their customs. Today, it's the same thing. It's just you got Esau, Edom, that is in power now. So when Yahweh Shai comes back, it's going to be a transition just like that. Just like back then, the Greeks took down the Persians took down the Babylonians. The Lord is going to take down the modern day Edomites, okay, and take down their rulership. That's going to be the end of the world. So that's what they were inquiring about. When is that going to happen? Go ahead.
And Yahweh Shai answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach.
And that happened, all throughout history, right? It happened a lot during his time, and it happened even now in our time. Okay, it's happening now. There's a lot of deception going on, which a lot of people now, they're not coming and saying they are the anointed or they are Yahweh Shai, but they're coming in the energy, as though they are God sent, and they are deceiving many. A good amount of them. Look, you got this guy Al-Azhar. He deceived a lot of people for a long period of time. Now he taught them certain things, but the deception wasn't thinking that he was an actual faithful shepherd, and they were willing to follow him. That's where the deception lies. When you talk about somebody deceiving people, it doesn't necessarily mean that all they tell you is lies. That's not how deception works, because eventually, if all everybody tells you is, or if all somebody tells you is lies, it's going to be very quick before you find out that they're a liar, and it's hard for them to deceive you. So in order to be deceived, they have to give you some truth to build trust, and then the deception slowly seeps in, and that's what he did. He gave you the pseudo truth, right? So you can believe him to be some great man of the Lord, and that's when the deception sets in. Because once your trust has been gained,
It's like, I think their signal is dropped a little bit there. So just give me 1 second. Let me see what's going on. 1 second. Yeah, I think brothers is having some technical difficulties, so they're gonna join in a little bit. Yeah, so all right, that's fine. We're gonna hold on until they get back. All right, I have a quick precept here I wanted to bring out real quick. All right, going into what we mentioned earlier about ultimately all these empires went down. All right, when the time came, the Lord took them down. Same thing's gonna happen here to America. All right, we're actually living, as it says, 250 years. 1 second. 250 years. All right, pretty much America has reached her end. Okay, and I got a quick precept here. There's a book of Ezekiel, chapter 35. Start off at verse 11. It says, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, I will even do according to thine anger and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thine hatred against them. Against who? Against Israel. Okay, the children of Israel, starting from the so-called Negroes all the way down to the so-called Mexicans. Okay, you blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. Now it's common knowledge. It's not like 10 years ago when we were bringing this information out and everybody was looking at us like we had 10 heads, 7 heads and 10 horns, But now it's become common knowledge to the point where you got Vocab. I saw a video yesterday where Vocab was doing, I guess, an interview with some of these people, these Christian people, and they were saying how, hey, is this Hebrew Israelite thing like a fad, right? Is it something that's going to, pass over time? But in reality, this is the fulfillment of Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, okay, of the dry bones, all right, waking up. Okay, so there's no turning back at this point. All right, it's all going downhill for America and uphill, really uphill for America and downhill for Israel. Okay, so you have an uphill battle. That's America's fighting that uphill battle, and as a result, Israel and America go down at the same time. Okay, that missile, that destruction that comes, it hits both Israel and America. Okay, and that land is being cleansed right now. You got all kinds of, they don't want to report it, which is fine. because prophecy is telling us everything we need to know. You know, it's like I was actually thinking about it this morning, and I'm a pastor. Y'all brothers are back. This morning it was kind of like when I woke up, first thing I pick up my phone is to check to see news, see what's going on, and it's almost like being in prison and waiting for, like, you know, there's a sign or something that you're supposed to look forward to, and once you see that
Wait,
sign,
block it. 1 second. Let me see, because the sister put no audio. Just let us know if the audio is back now. So, let's keep going. I checked it on my end. I can hear it, but just let us know if it's back.
yeah, con. So basically, we're the prisoners, right? And the Lord gave us something to look forward to. So there's going to be a sign, right? When you see that sign, I'm about to get you out of that prison. So every single morning we wake up, you go to the window. That's the first thing you do. You go to the window to check to see, is that sign there? Because we're the only ones who are expecting that sign. Everybody else, the sign will pass and they're never going to catch it because they're not expecting it. Nobody told them that that's the sign to look forward to. So to them, it's just a random event that's happening, right? But for us, it's important signs. It's like, oh shit. So we're all excited. Every time we wake up, you open your window and you're checking to see. And now we're seeing those signs. So now everyone is in preparation. We're like, oh shit, the Lord is coming back to get us out of here. We don't know what time during the day, but he said, when we see this, at any time, he could break us up out of here. So we're seeing all these prophecies, and that's how we're feeling about it. Every time you wake up, you check the window to see. You check the window to see. And today we're finally seeing those things coming to pass. All right? Yeah, brothers got it.
All right, beautiful. The water. But yeah, basically, you know, just like along the lines of what you're saying, you know, we're looking at those signs now. That's why the title is Be on High Alert. Because it's usually on the nice days when everything looks like it's all good, that sign sudden goes down. You know, and then people start scrambling, and it's like, yo, that's how they get caught off guard. You know, a lot of people are in that state. See, they've lulled the people to sleep at this point. You know, to where now, and you know that when they can come out and blatantly show you satanic things, blatantly lie to your face and do all of those, and people don't react in the way that normal people would. That's their sign that, yeah, these people they've become a product of what we want. Like in 1984 when they tortured the shit out of that dude until eventually he became a product of what they wanted, you know, or at least he made it seem like it. But where we at? Yeah, go ahead.
This is the book of Matthew 24:6, and it reads, "And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars."
So now he's giving them the signs, right? They say, okay, well, show us signs. What are going to be the signs? Like when you're driving to a certain location, you know, you coming into New York, you'll see signs, right? You get to the GW Bridge and you go and you see those green signs. When you crossing into New York, there's a little sign that says "Welcome to New York" or "Welcome to," you know, whatever the case is over there. So we're looking at those signs now, right? He said wars and rumors of wars. Is that not what we're seeing? In fact, there's a war going on. Damn, shut up. Loud ass demon, man. Shit. There's a war going on, and then you got rumors of a larger war. Oh, easy, well now. Rumors of a larger war that's about to take place, which is World War III. Yeah, of course it's gonna be one of them. So the Yahushua said for us to look out for those things, and that's what we're doing. And that's why we're prophesying about it. Letting you know that, look, this is what the Lord said is gonna happen. It's happening now. And if you're not getting ready now, then you ain't there. I don't know what time you're gonna get ready. Go ahead.
"See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet."
And that's the key part right there. Right? All these things must come to pass. That's why they're happening, but the end is not yet. There's still some more things that need to happen. So really, what Yahushua was saying was that the times that we're in right now that we're seeing is to predate the last tiny bit of prophecy before what we call the actual end. And what culminates the end of this age? Thermonuclear destruction. So that's how we know that even though we're seeing wars and rumors of wars, this isn't going to lead to thermonuclear destruction next week. Okay? And it's not going to be next week because there's still some things that need to happen before the end, you know, fully comes to pass. Go ahead. Things like the MOTB. And now you can see how this whole, it's interesting because they went the route of World War III to lead you into the route of economic collapse. And that's why strategically, why didn't they go after Iran? Why didn't they go after Russia or Turkey or one of those countries first? Why didn't they go after Pakistan? You know, They went after Iran because they know that, you know what, if you're trying to cause a global shock, think about it, because that's what these elites do. They have think tanks, you know, and they get into their little rooms. And I'm not talking about like the super rich. The super rich, they have their meetings, but their meetings are more on the high satanic level. They have people that are whose jobs it is to sit there and actually think and come up and brainstorm ideas on how can we further this next agenda. Well, what do we want to do? Oh, we want the people to do this. We want to do that. We want to do that. So what do we do? Well, we could do another, you know, demic again. Oh yeah, we tried that, but now word has got out, and then we have to control the social media websites, but people are already too privy to that. So we got to do something else. Remember, these are actual people. They're still human beings, you know, so they still have to reason and try to think, okay, how is this going to happen? It's not like they're you know, everything just works at the push of a button. No, they still got to plan these things. So they have their little think tanks, and then they start to, okay, well, what if we did this? You know, then the new hire that came in last week, you know, he comes in there, he says, well, I have an idea. He brings in the coffee. I have an idea. Why don't we do blah, 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 blah? You know, oh, yeah, no, that's a good one. Yeah. Oh, okay. And we can control this, and we can do the media here and this and that. And then. So guess what? Even those reporters that come in there and ask Trump those questions, a lot of them are also agents. They come in and they ask specific kinds of questions. And there are certain questions they will not ask. Okay? They will not ask that. Why wouldn't they ask that? Because they can't. So it's all orchestrated, but they knew, well, what is the side effect of going after Iran? They have access to the Strait of Hormuz. They have already said they're going to do this. So we can actually bait them, right? That's why in Albert Pike's letter, the talk is between the Islamic Arab world and political Zionism. So we can bait them knowing what they can do economically, because they know, well, Iran ain't going to shoot nuclear missiles on us because they don't got nukes right now. But what they can do to hurt America won't hurt just America, because America's intertwined with a lot of the global economy. So what they're gonna do will hurt the global economy, which is what they want. Now they're already telling you, this is what, third week going into the fourth, that you have refineries and plants that have been destroyed, that some are gonna take I think they said 3 to 5 years. Some, they said at the very least for some of these plants it's like 6 months based on the damage right now. Okay, but Iran, they said they're not stopping, and you got Netanyahu talking about, oh yeah, we're trying to you know, put an end to this thing, and Trump talking about, yeah, we're gonna bring an end to it soon. But Haran just mentioned, right, that you're gonna go and ask for $200 billion for this war with Iran, but you're ready to end this war. How is $200 billion gonna bring an end to this war? You know, and then they said just recently Palantir. They said now. Since the DHS and the military said, you know what, we're not dealing with Anthropic, now they're going to Palantir. We've been saying that. You know, we've been saying that. So they're doing all this, and it's systemic, but they're going to ever so slightly up the intensity. Okay, because they know there's not an appetite for this war, but they still have to keep it going.
Hey, another thing that I thought about, I think it was yesterday or the day before, which is you're going to start seeing the Iranians start to activate now, because you notice this whole attack that happened, it happened during their month of Ramadan, which is where they do their fasting and so on and so forth. So they're in a weakened state. If you really think about it like that, it's like they got attacked when they were fasting and trying to be, you know, they keep certain practices. You know, it's kind of like almost like the Greeks attacking us on our Sabbath day. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're holding it in a reverence to something that they believe in. And at that time is when they're being attacked. The Ayatollah got taken out during that time. You know, all this stuff that's going on is during that time. So it's deeper. It's like you attacking us, not just attacking our bases or our people and our energy grids and so on and so forth. You taking out our leader, our religious leader. He's like the Pope. They call him the Pope if you're in the West, right? These people went and waged war against the Iranians. Let that sink in. A lot of Americans don't even understand that. The nature of Iranians, they don't stop, bro. Once they lock in, it's over with. Okay? And you have a lot of Iranians who live here in America, all around the states, man. And they are all impacted by the shit that's going on in their land. Okay? And they're all fasting. Guess what? That fasting is over. I believe it was over yesterday or the day before, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So they're about to start kicking into a different gear. So now you're going to start seeing them also react to the shit that they've been having to deal with. And that's why I said through the spirit, the month of April is going to be very interesting to look, because you only have, not only do you have the energy crisis going on that's going to escalate, they're saying that people by then are going to feel the burn, gas prices going up, which doesn't stop with gas prices. It goes through everything, right? Your food, diesel prices. I seen diesel the other day, almost $5 a gallon. Diesel. That's gonna affect your prices when you go to the store, because these trucks that gotta bring the shit in, they're gonna be charging you on top of that. Okay. And now you also have a scarcity on the shit that needs to be brought in, because the straits has been limited, right? So you have that also to look forward to. So there's a lot of shit that's planned. Again, we did a lesson on this a few months ago, going into that 2026 Economist magazine, and we highlighted all these different things of what's to come. And we highlighted energy crisis because it's part of their plans. Okay. So expect a lot more of uncomfortable times. Like Trump said, oh, it's a small price to pay. Nigga, really? It's a small price to pay? Who's going to be paying that price? The American people. Okay. So it's all done by design. They want to bring in that sea here, but they have to collapse the system. That's what you're seeing happening. It's a global thing. It's a global thing. Okay. And these Iranians, they're going to spark up too, because now it's time to go time. All right. Everybody's got it.
Yeah, it has been mentioned that Israel might blow up their what was it, Al-Aqsa Mosque or something like that over there, which we know what that's going to do. But I just saw a news notification here. It says just in, defense experts fear that Iran's missiles could hit Europe after 2 ballistic missiles were fired toward Diego Garcia, with one reportedly failing in flight and the other intercepted. So now they're like, yo, hold on. Yeah, at first we thought, all right, there's some little kids playing over there, but now, the stones are coming a little closer to my glass house. So now you're gonna have the attitude switching from, yeah, this is not our war, to, yo, hold on a second. Straight to the who? To the who?
Just to add to you, it's like a martial arts fight, and you ain't know the other dude that knew a spinning flying back kick or some crazy shit. And all of a sudden, they round pulling shit out. Like, what the fuck? I didn't know y'all could do that. Diego Garcia, they thought that was untouched, But if they can get to there, then the range, it matches up where they can hit certain targets. They might be able to hit Ukraine. They might be able to hit other places. And then Russia and China come up in there and give them some extra shit. It's going to be a bad day, all right, for Esau. And the thing about America is, after there, okay, they'll come back. But the NATO allies, they're looking at it like, yo, this affects us more directly than it affects you. The prices for gas in the UK went up a lot higher than it did over here in the States, because America has a lot of reserves, different things they can pull from, even though sooner or later, it's looking like sooner, it's going to affect here too. Yep. But the other UK and all them nations, Germany, they getting affected quicker. Yep. So they're like, damn, like, you throwing stuff under the bus, But what we're finding out is that, the money is not going to be able to deliver them. And I had a precept to match up with that. Ezekiel 7:19, they shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed. Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of Yahweh. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity. And hey, them Saudis and them UAE countries, they finding that out now. You can't drink oil.
Right.
All right. So they hit one desalination plant, or desalination, however you say it, and that's it. Food insecurity. Those nations are falling apart because really they were fraudulently lifted up by the West to begin with. How you build an empire in the desert?
Right.
That's like Las Vegas. And they talking about Las Vegas too, which is what known as the city of sin. All right. They talking about within a couple of years, they're gonna run out of water. They're not gonna have a source of water. So all of this, we always talk about polycrisis. This is it. You see it unfolding before your very eyes. And Americans are so stupid that they think because of, money or different things like that, again, your silver and your gold won't be able to deliver you in that day. Worldly riches cannot deliver you in that day. And riches and things like that is based on a society that still functions.
Right.
There's still a system that's upholding that. Once everything falls apart, what does gold do for me? It has a value, but can I eat it? Can I,
Yeah, so I mean, technically, it is actually in certain foods. Like gold is a mineral that your body uses, but a gold bar in a famine, I'm not looking at that like, all right, I'm gonna put this and roast it.
Right.
You know, you worried about actual resources, and when that day comes, which we see it rapidly approaching, there's going to be famines, and they hit Qatar's liquid natural gas, and I believe that's tied to fertilizers and different things that they use, nitrogen, urea, something like that, right? And without that, it's going to be very difficult for a lot of those nearby nations and extend into America to have these crop yields that they need to feed all these billions of people. So what's going to happen then? And that's when people are going to feel it, because as of right now, things is kind of still going on. Yeah, the gas price went up a bit, but people don't really feel it yet. So, hey, man, a couple more events happen and they really keep doing these energy strikes back and forth. That's the escalation. The ladder of escalation is going up, and it's increasing rapidly. It's only been 2-3 weeks of this. We're not even a month in, and every week is some new crazy, devastating shit happens, some new catastrophe.
Yeah, government shutdown is causing TSA workers at the airports to go on strike, and it's causing a backup in flights, canceling flights, delayed flights, and it could also relate to FedEx, you know, like planes getting their products out as far as goods and services is concerned, and that's causing a part of the events that's happening to bring about, you know, a lot for the economy. So yeah, that government shutdown is causing people to lose jobs, and in turn, when you lose jobs, you lose services. So, events is happening.
Yeah, just a quick. I had a question about that actually, because I have a friend on the PlayStation that he works with TSA, and I haven't seen him on for months now. And so I had a question about how long has that been going? It's been going on for like 2 or 3 months now.
I'm not even sure. I think, yeah, the
I know they
partial
not
government
getting
shutdown's been there for a minute.
They're not getting paid, so they're not going to work.
Yeah, because he was still going to work, and he told me about that. And he told me one of the things that he didn't like about that is essentially, yeah, they're saying that you're gonna get all that money back, but the taxes on all that. So that's what I'm thinking about. Is like all that back pay. Yeah, it may look nice, but all that taxes that don't have to come back. And then it's not just you; it's like a whole bunch of people. So what if some people actually don't get their money? What if some people mess it up or something like that? So that's what I was asking that, because like, let's say it is 2 months, or if it goes on for longer, that's a lot of taxes they got to take out. They're not going to just give you all that money. Then on top of that, they may mess up some people's pay, and you may not get the full amount. Some people may get gypped or whatever. So,
I mean, but it's all
If the government doesn't shut, I mean, government shutdown ends. What if it don't end?
yeah,
They don't get paid.
it's out there, but it's all on purpose though, because Zaquan was talking to Zaquan talks on him. He was saying, you know, how they in these airports now there's like this new system they're trying to introduce, which is like all digital biometrics. Yeah, clear. And he made that clear. Biometric system, but it's interesting because with it, you don't really need, with the new system they're trying to set up, you don't really need these TSA workers. So now when you have this crisis of, oh, we can't have these workers are like bouncing because they're like, yo, first off, I still got a family. Like what kind of disrespect is that? I gotta come and work so that you can not pay me, but then there's other jobs that I can go and do and get paid. How do you think I look like? My family gotta starve so that you can travel? Hell no. No. F all that. You got, they say you got people doing blood draws just to donate blood just to get money because they're not getting paid. Huh?
plasma you talking about?
Yeah, plasma. Yeah. You know, so they're like, look, eventually they're gonna introduce that. Say, look, but to avoid another scenario like this or to alleviate stuff like this, you know, we might need to introduce a new system. That's what it's always done. It's solutions through crisis, which really are not solutions. They're just more problems to create more false solutions until they get to their new world order. All right, that's ultimately where they want to get to. But once again, the economy is taking a hit, and a lot of things that people were not privy to, they're gonna learn the hard way. You're gonna understand. Wait, why this oil price going up affect me? Oh, you're about to find out. You're about to get a hands-on class on why oil going up is gonna affect you personally. Okay, and people are not ready for that. And even if you try to explain it to them, they ain't gonna get it because they don't care until it hits home. That's just a fact. These people, they don't. That's an example of the simple pass on and are destroyed, right? The prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. How does he foresee the evil? Because he looks into it. He looks well into his going. He looks at what's going on in the world and says, yo, hold on. What does that actually mean, though? Okay, I don't know it, but let me go and look it up and see. Oh, shit. Okay, so that's what that does. Oh, okay, cool. So I know what I need to be doing. The simple, like, okay, well, all right. I mean, that's cool, but why does that matter to me? Until they're in their home and then freaking their block shakes and they wonder what's going on. Wait, you said there's an attack? What? Iran did who? What? No, what? Yeah, they said if you were paying attention and you were being circumspect, maybe you would have avoided certain places to go, keeping this in mind that we're in that time. They said recently there were a swarm of unidentified drones over one of the I think it was one of the U.S. military bases or so, where Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth were, and they try to keep it, hush hush. But it's interesting that this comes after they came and mentioned about the FBI warning California about Iran using drones, trying to use drones to attack. So it's just a matter of time before sign goes down. That's why you got to be on high alert, because one thing could change it all. One thing can change everything. Okay, that's literally all it is. It just takes one thing, and it can change everything. There you go, the domino effect.
And the other one's gotta fall as well.
Yep, ripple effect, domino effect, all of it.
I think America's in cold orange right now. That's one level away from cold red. So it only takes one scale away from launching a devastating blow to a superpower, which can in turn affect America on a whole level as far as the cyber structure. Right? So all it takes is one good EMP event to shut down so many programs that run this place.
Right.
The trains, all that.
Yeah.
And everything is connected. The trains connected to electricity, the jobs and all that. Because now you can't, whether it be like, because for most of the drugstores and the live shit kind of they're down, maybe they still have YouTube. A lot of people make their money off YouTube. If you can't stream it, how you gonna make your money? And if electricity not coming to your house, how you still gonna make your money?
Right. At that point, you ain't even getting water.
YouTube was shut down for an hour or 2 weeks ago. How crippling is that? Soon everybody. It's one thing that could cause a major downfall. It's a virgin, but it's delicate as well. Delicate means it's easy to break.
Right. Yeah, because Iran said they're going to attack the not just the oil stuff, but they'll attack all U.S. interests in that area. That includes the big tech companies, Microsoft, Google, Amazon. So I mean, and they're not dumb too. They can attack those underwater fiber optic cables, because those are what allow the connection from those countries over there in the east to the west, and for information to go back and forth. Now, if something like that is cut, guess what? Payments and all of these things, they travel through information. They also go through those same circuits. This is all digital. Okay, so we're talking about some serious level crisis that you don't talk about, but you experience. Because right now these are talking points, but very soon they're about to be living points. Okay, for everybody, and that's why the Lord talks about deliverance, because we're all gonna have to go through it, but some are gonna be delivered out of it. That's Jeremiah 30:7. He shall be delivered out of it. What does that mean? The rest of you are gonna be left in it. So we all gonna be in the same. We're gonna know what the same problem is, but we're not all gonna have the same solution. Some of you ain't gonna even have a solution, and some people are gonna try to off themselves. And imagine that your one main plan to off yourself doesn't work, because some people think, oh, when it happens, all right, that's it. I'm gonna just take the easy way out. What happens if you get captured, and now you just turn into somebody's sex slave somewhere? You think they're gonna allow you to off yourself? You looking all good and shit, caked up, double cheeked up, and you think they're about to let you just go back to the square world? That ain't happening. Dude will turn to a whole professional surgeon to resuscitate your ass. So yes, there are some things that are worse than death, and people will find that out. You gonna live a life so horrible. You imagine living in a world that's like the setting from the movie The Road. Everything is just bleak, dark. Walk into somebody's basement, it's just naked old people that they're using for food. The fuck? And you number 10. You know, so these are the kinds of things people are gonna find themselves in. You're gonna be there wondering how the hell are you hooked up to some hooks in somebody's basement about to be used for food. You know, you wondering how did you get to this place when last week you were just shopping at a cross county shopping mall. You know,
I'm not gonna spoil it, but Fallout Season 2, when I think it was the brother Norm, I think his name is, when he released all those people from the cryopods. For them, it was just like, yo, last week I was at that store over there, and now they're looking at the world. It's like it's just desolate, it's destroyed. It's like, damn, like I was just there with my parents to them it was a week ago, but now it's like they see it. But in the current time, it's been years that this has passed by. So when you said that, it reminded me of that. Like, yo, like a week ago, everything was fine. Now it's like we're over here. Like, how the hell did we get to this point? Like, how did we get here? But we understand the things that the building blocks that led to this point, as opposed to other people. Yo, I don't even understand this. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, what's going on here? But that's what happens when you're not aware of things, when you're not paying attention.
yeah, they're woefully ignorant. Like they'll let you know straight up. Like, no, I'm okay. I don't watch the news. What? No, I don't watch. Why don't you watch? Oh no, it's just all bad stuff every time you turn it on. No shit, Sherlock. It's been bad stuff since the beginning of creation. It's like, what you mean? You know, so if it's bad stuff, it's like saying, well, I'm not gonna, you know, when they do the fire drill, I'm just gonna sit here. You know, when they're showing us the different emergency exits, I don't really care about that because that means I have to think about what happens if a fire goes down. Okay, so when the fire actually goes down, you know that's a dangerous situation, right? You're gonna close your eyes and say, no, it's not there anymore. No, the only thing that's gonna happen is you're not gonna know what to do when that happens because you couldn't keep your eyes open through the movie. So there are people talking about, oh, you know, I just don't watch the news because it's scary. How are you going to know what's going on in life? How are you going to know when there's an alert that says, hey, evacuate this area? That's how you have the movies where you got people that stay in the evacuation place where you're supposed to leave, and they dumbasses still stay over there. And they wonder, well, I went to the store, there was nobody there. No, yeah, because they say you got to evacuate the area. What? Who said that? What? You don't watch the news? No, I did not. And they're going to find themselves in a bad place. Your brother has something like that too.
There's a chick online that sometimes I play games with, and she said, living, what did she say?
Living like Larry? Yeah, something about living in ignorance. It's better.
Oh yeah, basically living in living an ignorant life is living a good life. The less you know, the happier you are. And I just laughed at that point. And then she was like, what? You don't have to worry about anything. I was just, oh shit, all right. Shit.
Yeah, worry about reality when it hits.
Let's see what happens when them truths come knocking on your door.
That's a very short-sighted way to look at life.
Yeah.
Very short-sighted. I'm ignorant now, you know. There's a train coming to smack me up. You know, it's a freight train coming, but I'm ignorant. Hey, ignorance is bliss. I'm gonna dance on the train track.
That's it.
I have this Hosea 4:6.
Hey, because I'll say this real quick.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen, like you said, is short-sighted is you're gonna be happy for the period of time that you don't know the train is coming, and then you're gonna be in a world of hurt when the train hits you. And then you live through it, you know? Versus, okay, your heart jumped, you may have got a little bit of anxiety because knowing there's a train coming, but in the long term, you're gonna be able to live because the train didn't hit you. You got it, bro.
Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. Yeah, so they are perished for a lack of knowledge, man. No, ignorance is better to a lot of people. And you got a lot of jakes in the military, they don't even know what's going on the other side of the world. And you signed up for the military. Now, do you watch the news? I don't know.
They're doing TikTok dances.
Yeah, they're doing them TikTok dances, you know, shaking ass.
Yep.
You know, doing dances about how they gonna shit on Iran. Okay, so you go to Carg Island and you be the first one to go sign up and storm the beaches over there. Since you're so bold about it, right? The Marines, they all gonna get zapped over there, man. That they sending. And Trump is, you can't listen to what he says at all. You gotta watch what he does. Because he's sending the truth, but he's saying it's over. Didn't he say it was over when it first started, though?
Yeah.
He said, yo, it's over. It was over in the first hour. Well, I need NATO to help, but, you know, but I thought it was over with.
Yep. It's over, but it's not over.
It's over, but it's never over, man. It's never over until your house shot come and make it over for you.
That's it. And that's what's gonna happen. But until then, it's gonna be a state of war because what is this man's whole agenda? To take peace from the earth. So again, going back to Jake being perished for lack of knowledge, that's why a lot of you Jakes, you'll sign up for these things. You don't even know what you're getting into. You know, you sign up for the American dream. You sign because you want to get, you want to get a Benz, Charger, a little Benz, whatever, some little fly shit. Come back, yep. And then for what? Now your ass is getting shipped over there because their only hope was that it was always going to be peaceful. But if you knew about the prophecies, you'll know that war is the prophecy. Right. War is coming. So if you know that, that's life-saving information because when it's come time to sign that contract, the spirit would jump, the wisdom will kick in. You're going to take your hand back like, no, I'm not signing that. Right. But once you sign your life away, that's it. So that's why people say, well, what is knowledge? What's the use of knowledge? Well, knowledge will help you make decisions that'll save your fucking life. But if you don't know the value, you don't know what you don't know. You know, at the end of the day. Right. Y'all got it.
Yeah, they're going look, you get sent over there, I got you, bro. You're gonna have certain people that are gonna get sent over there. Hey, the Lord, the Lord can do what he wants, man. The Lord can do what he wants. Now the Lord might have it to where you on whatever, it's a plane, a helicopter, whatever, and the shit just goes down midair and you get abandoned on some island that's close by somewhere. And then you find out that had your ass made it to that freaking Karg Island, you'd have been like respawning in Call of Duty while somebody got a score streak. And the second you land, bam, that. So you're not respawning again. You just landed and there's a whole nuke coming down. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, spawn camping. That's what Iran gonna be doing. A drone is gonna be waiting for you right there. The second you step out that, bam. Okay. Get back in there. You open your eyes, you in the spirit world. Go have your Howard Shot with his hand on your shoulder like that. It's all right, buddy.
Better luck next time.
You the 20th one so far. You just sit there and wait for the rest. You got it, bro.
Hey, Khan, that's so crazy that I'm not your testimony is insane because it's just another testimony of just how Americans really think, and that's why this place gonna have to get destroyed, man. There's no other way around it. Scriptures literally say this is a book of Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, chapter 5, verse 15. It says, "Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small." Literally, that's what it says. Don't be ignorant of anything. You have to at least have an idea of something. Being ignorant means you lack wisdom and understanding or knowledge, or you are just unaware. And that's the current state of Americans, especially the women. There's literally in Isaiah 32, it says, "Rise up, you women that are at ease." Being at ease is synonymous with being unawares. All right, because you don't know what's going on, like the chick was saying, right? The less you know, the happier you are, right? But right now, the Lord is going to flip that, where the less you know, the more fearful you will be, because now everyone is going to be in a state of chaos where it's like, yo, I need to know what's going on, right? Just a few months ago, you were in a state of bliss where, I don't want to know what's going on. I'm happy about that. Soon, you not knowing what's going on is going to be to your detriment, where you're going to be like, what the hell is actually going on? I got a quick one. Another one here. It says, in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, verse 10, it says, "But executing thy judgments upon them little by little," right? As it says, it's going to be upon them as a woman that travaileth, right? Little by little, meaning step by step. And every single step after the previous one, it gets worse and worse and worse, right? So it says, but executing thy judgments upon them by little and little, thou gavest them place of repentance. Okay? So I believe in 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, it says that though there was a place of repentance given unto them, they still were going back to doing their folly. Right? They didn't even turn back to the Holy One and say, "Oh Lord, at least we're going to take advantage of this." Look at the videos niggas is doing on YouTube. All right, TikTok, whatever platform that they have ability to be on, they spread their folly over there. And folly is something the Lord greatly hates. He literally said, put people to death to take away folly from Israel. Literally. Okay? When a woman played the whore, she get put to death because of that. When a nigga did something he wasn't supposed to do, he get put to death because of that. Why? The Lord says, so you wrought evil out of Israel and folly out of Israel. So niggas be glorying in folly, doing videos showing your folly, thinking that, it's just going to be, this is a done deal. No, you're on the TTID, nigga. You're being tagged, tracked, and identified, nigga. Your folly is going to lead to your death. When the IDF niggas show up at your door, knocking on your door saying, yo, what's up with all that videos you was doing? See how the Lord could flip things? It says here, not being ignorant that they were a naughty generation, and this is that same generation, that wicked, adulterous generation. This is it. Okay? It says that they were a naughty generation, and that their malice was bred in them, and that their cogitation would never be changed. Cogitation means state of mind. Okay? So somebody who's in that ignorant mindset, it's not until adversity hits them, it's not until calamity hits them in the face, then they're gonna wake up and be like, oh shit. But at that point, it's too late, right? It's like not knowing how to swim, and then you're on ship, knocked out, and everybody's screaming, "Yo, wake up, wake up! We gotta get on the lifeboats." And then your ass is still knocked out, chilling. You got the music mad high. You know what I'm saying? You're probably drunk, passed out. You're gone. You out of there, right? You make it merry. You know, hey, well, you got all this destruction coming. Shall we then make mirth? Yeah, these niggas is making mirth, rising up to play. Guess what? The wind picks up, the ship do its thing, your ass is tossed over, and now boom, you roll from your bed. Some way, somehow, the Lord have you roll from your bed, roll through the hallways, roll through some window somewhere where you're still knocked out, and end up in the ocean somewhere. Then you wake up. Yeah, you wake up and now you can't swim. There's no lifeboats, and the boat, all the people that are on the ship, they just keep going, and you're just stuck there, and you're seeing that, you know, when a ship passes, the water trail that it makes is all white, and then eventually becomes the regular color of the water. That's where you're at right now. You're like, well, what the fuck? And then you come right back up, and then you're just like, this is such a wake up call, like a shock to the system. I don't think I'm gonna make it, because you're literally not gonna make it. You're in the middle of the ocean. What ocean? You don't even know, right? So that's the state that these people are in right now, man. And now you question all the things that you did. Oh my God, my life is flashing before me, right? It's over with. And you're screaming, and the ship is still going. And the people who are on the ship probably could see you, but they ain't nobody going to jump in the ocean and try to save your ass, right? So that's the state that a lot of people are going to find themselves in. Family members, friends, it's going to feel like you're alone. And your woman card in society that you can always pull no longer is working. You can't even find that card in your wallet now. You're like, oh my God, my last one. Wait, what the fuck did it go? You see, desperation is going to set in. And when desperation sets in for women, what do? They look for a man, the nearest man around. He could be a nerdy ass nigga with a glasses like mine, you know, and a suit and tie or a bow tie, and a nerdy ass nigga, right? And guess what? The women are going to gravitate towards him because at least he's a man. You see what I'm saying? So how much more a man of the Lord who knows what's going on, who's actually prepared and equipped to handle the things that's coming, that the average man would die if he was to see these things coming, right? How much more? Men who have the ability to have that, what's called spiritual acumen, to navigate the times that we're in, right? To know we're in, because it's all part of that wisdom and knowledge that's going to be the stability of our times, but also to navigate spiritually ahead of time, right? To know, oh shit, all right, if we do this today, this might happen. So how about we pray today? Let's do all our things today, because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. Meanwhile, everybody's going out there tomorrow. We're doing everything today because we're preparing. We see what's going on. You see? I got one last one, and then I'll pass it. All right, this is the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 13. It says, but I would not have you be ignorant, all right, that same word, brethren, concerning them which are asleep. Okay? These people are actually spiritually and physically asleep. All right, because you can't be in a state where war is going on. Things are happening in your country that's affecting you. You go to the gas pump right now, you're affected by the things that's going on around the world. And you're still telling me that, you know, the less you know, the happier you are. Like how? Like what kind of creatures are these? You know, it says that ye sorrow not, even as others which have no hope. Right? Why are we not sorrowing? Because Revelation 12:12 says, rejoice, right? Rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. Right? We are in the spirit of rejoicing because we see the things that's happening and what that means in terms of our salvation. Romans 13:11. All right, for our salvation is nearer than when we believe. That's what we're thinking about. When we see all these things come, we're not thinking about, oh, America's going to be destroyed. Oh my God, what are we going to do? Nah, we're thinking, okay, that means the Lord is that much closer. Like finally, bro. You know, and the time from now to the Lord's return is shorter than how much time we've spent in this truth waiting for this time. Right? So we know it's go to, it's exciting. So hearing people talk this shit is also confirming that we are in the right spirit. Okay? Yeah, brothers got it.
We come back to Matthew.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and 7, and it reads, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom.
And we're seeing that. All right, go ahead. And that's basically what you have here with this divide. And this divide is drawing ever so greatly, you know, on many levels, right? On the political side, Democrats, Republicans, but even on like actual nationalistic levels, you know, people are looking at Amalekites, you know, all crazy sideways. People looking at Ishmaelites all crazy and sideways. People looking at Edomites all crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's all division everywhere. Okay, but this country is divided for sure. Go ahead.
And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places.
And that's going on right now as we speak. Okay, but it's coupled with all these other signs that the Lord said. That's what makes it different than past times when, yeah, they've been earthquakes, yeah, they've been famines and so on, but it hasn't been coupled with the events that the Lord has said would happen that we're seeing now. Has there always been this level of tension and war between Iran and the U.S.? You know, has it been to this level where now they're worried about a nuclear war? Okay, then. Go ahead.
All these are the beginning of sorrows.
Beginning of sorrows. Yeah. If you that child that starts crying the second your pops grabs the belt, what you gonna do when he starts laying them whips on you? You know, your back, your legs. What are you gonna do then? Somebody like, I haven't even. You know, you take the belt out. You don't whip them. You know, you can watch the Boondocks, watch what Granddad does with it, but you don't whip them with the full. No. You gotta fold it. You gotta fold the belt in half. So you grab here, and then when you go like that, it does a little pa pa, so that you it's like you getting the engine revved up. Pa pa, you know, get the tears flowing and shit, so they know what's about to happen. See, the lesson is more valuable once they anticipate the pain. You know, so even if you touch them a little bit, it hurts even more. So you got pa pa. All right, let's go. Come here. You know, you know. So the point is, if dealing with what we're talking about over here, if the second you hear pa pa, you already crying, then bro, I didn't even lay one lash on you. You got 40 save one. You know, so get ready for that. And that's what's happening. That's why this is called the beginning of sorrows. You know, your heart is already jumping when you hear the keys coming in. Oh shit. You know, dad's home now? Okay. You know, your mom told you, yeah, you go sit in your room and wait for your father. Oh shit. So long story short, right now we in the sit in your room, wait for your father, and you just heard the keys open. And then on top of that, you heard his voice go up. When his mom, you hear the little whispering from your mom's voice, then you hear his voice go. He did what? Oh shit.
What's that? The belt buckle. You hear the little shit jingling together because you know the long piece that you got.
Yeah.
Once you start hearing that, you get closer. You start carrying around like, oh, wait a minute. I'm preparing already before the hits come.
Yep. And that's a good point right there. That's what's happening right now. You hear the buckling and then you see the doorknob. You lock the door, but you see the doorknob. You know. Oh yeah. You cook, and that's where we at right now. So you got some people that have some common sense, and they already know what's going on. But you got the rest that they're just completely oblivious. Matter of fact, they sleeping. You know, they sleeping face down, ass up. Pause. You know, you like, okay, that's you getting your ass beat anyway, whether you were sleeping or you were awake. And that's what the Lord is getting ready to do. Okay, he's getting ready to whoop these bad children's ass. Okay, he's gonna beat you with the belt, then he's gonna bring the cane. But this time, the scriptures tell you that the sword is being sharpened. This ain't. See. What I described as punishment, but the Lord punishes in measure. This time, the Lord said He's punishing the wicked unto destruction, and guess what? The wicked of our people are part of that number that's going to be destroyed. So now you've gone from the scene of the belt buckle to now the sword actually being sharpened. You know, by some dangerous slayer, as the scriptures say, to give into the hand of the slayer. No, hold on. A slayer can kill you without a sword. And then you're going to give him a weapon? It's like giving Thor his hammer. What do you think is going to happen at that point? Or letting freaking Bruce Banner transform? Or letting Iron Man get his suit on? What do you think is going to happen at that point? So that's what the Lord is doing. Right now, He just gave Esau his hammer. And He's about to show you why he was called that one last time. Why he was called the hammer of the earth. You know, He about to use His ultimate power up on your ass. And then you're going to find out, damn, this guy is the devil. I see why he was created to be the wicked. Because people ain't seen wickedness yet.
Add to you. Isaiah 10:5. O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger,
and the staff of their hand is mine indignation.
Yep. So the rod of mine anger, and this is talking about the modern day Assyrian, right? Which is Esau Edom. So they are the Lord is using them, which is another precept that talks about they are the Lord's sword. So their Lord is using them as the rod. Now in the ancient world, you use a rod. Okay, it wasn't no belt. Use a rod, and the rod obviously wasn't like some big ass tree trunk and shit. You're not trying to kill the child, but the scriptures say you're not supposed to spoil your child. Yeah, you got to beat their ass. All right, when they go off, you got to correct them, put it politically correct. Or Esau gets his panties in a bunch, but you gotta be that's the scriptures talk about that discipline. Except this time the Lord is not trying to discipline you for your repentance. He's coming to punish you onto destruction. This is judgment. This isn't punishment in measure. This is judgment. So yes, expect it to get as worse as you can imagine, and then some. Expect it to get painful, and then even more painful, because that's what the scriptures say is going to happen. That is what Yahushua meant when he said the beginning of sorrow. You know what sorrowing is? This is like continuous pain and suffering and agony without hope. Because hope, the scriptures tell you that the spirit of a man will sustain his infirmities, but a wounded spirit who can bear? The Lord is about to wound your body and your spirit with these troublous times that are coming. And he knows what terrifies everybody. Like I mentioned, I remember one time I asked somebody, this is back in high school, and I was like, yo, so like what are you afraid of? I said, the Lord's gonna bring your worst fear. He said, oh no, please. He was all terrified and shit. I'm like, whoa, what's so scary? He said, toes. I stopped for a second. I said, you said toes? Like feet, toes? He said, yeah. I said, you got wild animals, you got scorpions, lions, you got troops. He said, toes. That's what you're most afraid of. I said, all right, well, the Lord can do that to you. He can have you get caught by some psychotic Edomite, and his fetish is just smothering his toes in your face and shit. Here it is, your hands and feet are tied, and this nigga could take, in SpongeBob when they take off the long, sweaty gym socks, he got the crusty ass toenails and shit, and the nigga just like what's this guy's name from wrestling? McFoley. The nigga always pull out that dirty ass sock and freaking put it in your mouth and shit. So you got some real sick people in this world.
Mr. Sucko.
Oh, Mr. Sucko, yeah. Mr. Sucko, yep. Sacco, that's Sucko, yeah. But they're gonna be doing that too, They're gonna get it ready because you do have some sick Edomites. Yo, I actually saw that in I was watching The Boys, and there was a scene. Spoiler alert! There was a scene where this kid, he's like he regenerates, his body regenerates, and he had this little side gig where he had this Edomite dude came up in there, and I'm wondering like, what kind of weird shit this thing about to do? Because he look all excited and shit. Oh, can I really? So basically, what he was doing was they would pay him, and then he would just let him like cut off a body part or something like that. And you had the Edomite, he grabs the freaking machete and shit, and he starts, because the dude, I guess he doesn't feel pain or whatever, so he just starts chopping the head. Wow, that was like he just got some fresh piece of ass or some shit. I'm like, yo, yeah, that's and then the girl blackmailed him with that to get the what is this, D? The D compound D? Yeah, in the motel room. Starlight went and caught his ass. Second season. I think second or first. Yeah, either one. Long story short, it showed you, and just like that in the Purge, I think it was in one of the movies, you had those Edomites who they paid people to come and you can sacrifice yourself. And there was one of those, I think it was in the movie or the TV show, where you had it was an old man who went and basically sacrificed himself so he can get a lot of money for his daughters. Yeah, it was in the movie? Okay. So he goes up in there, and then he's sitting there, and you got all these Edomites, like a rich Edomite family, and they got the mask on, and they're just so pleased because they can let out all this rage and whatnot. And he was a Jake old guy, and they're like, yeah, we're like we can. It's what they call bloodthirsty. Yeah, that was the visual. Yeah, bloodlust. So you have people that are in this world today that are sick like that, and the Lord is going to put some of you at their mercy, and you're going to be hoping for deliverance, but you're not getting a happy ever after. This story doesn't end happily for a lot of people. So once this thing goes down, you think ignorance is bliss? You about to find out the consequence or the side effects of that ignorance, the side effects of disobeying Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, of not being prudent, of not looking well into your going, of doing whatever the hell you wanted to do. So now he can do whatever the hell he wants to do. I mean, he could always do that, but I mean, tit for tat, right? You did what you wanted to do. Now it's my turn to do what I want to do. And what I want to do is bring you pain. End the story.
Yeah. Isaiah 10 and 6. I will send him against an hypocritical nation.
And that's exactly what these people are. The scriptures say, are not your ways unequal, oh Jacob? Because they were complaining about the Lord, but wait a minute, you do wickedness and want to be rewarded for it. You don't do righteousness and you want to be let off the hook for that? How does that work? And then the Lord is fair because he tells you what's going to happen if you do wickedness.
And against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge.
Yeah, and right now the Lord's wrath is really against the world, but primarily against Israel. That's Amos 3:1. Okay, only you have I known of all the families of the earth. So the Lord, he's sending right now, he's preparing all these things that Esau is doing. The Lord is the one orchestrating it. And you know, when the Lord orchestrates something, he never misses. So he got a lot of you trapped in this hellhole, and he's about to have Esau unleash his NWO, and it's going to cause a lot of death. That's one of the main. They destroyed those Georgia Guidestones, but on there it talks about population reduction.
To take the spoil and to take the prey and to tread them down like the mire of the streets.
And guess what? In times of trouble, women are considered spoiled. Okay, you're considered prey. You always talk, don't objectify me. That's exactly what you become in the time of chaos. That's exactly what you become in the time of chaos. They look at you as like, yo, just like they just saw a brand new car, or some new pair of sneakers. They decide they see some fine shit. It's like that's booty. That's spoil. Literally, when you go to war, they brought back women and children as spoils of war.
Yeah, I remember you doing a video and you're going into the same thing, but you went into the Universal Health Act,
The United Nations.
yeah, United Nations Act,
Yep.
and how they've been trying to prevent that issue. So that goes to show you, and I believe they started that thing like 1965, I believe.
19 something.
Yeah, so that goes to show you that it's always been there for generations upon generations.
Yeah, they were complaining about how women basically become like vulnerable. I mean, they are vulnerable, but they become like a commodity. During times of like conflict, they call armed conflict, and we're literally in armed conflict now. But they've been trying to fix that. That's not something you fix. Okay, you got to fix society, but it's like saying we're trying to fix the fact that fire burns. What do you mean you're trying to fix the fact that fire burns? The reason women are vulnerable and they become in these vulnerable positions is because of multiple factors. It's because of, one, the Lord made men stronger. Two, women do not have the capability to really defend themselves as men do. And three, it's just the law of the land. Like how they talk about survival of the fittest. It kicks in based on those kinds of events. So you can't fix something like that. That's why they've been trying for so long.
And then also, I believe it's in 2 Samuel when David went to war with the Philistines. Him and his men. The Amalekites saw that that Ziklag
Right.
was unguarded, so they came and got the women and children.
Yeah, they took them, and that's Amalek, dirty old Amalek. So you can see why the men wanted to stone David at that point, but they didn't. But yeah, just going back to your point, man. That's what's getting ready to happen now. In the thumbnail I used for that video was a short movie. They make them short movies, and in there you had this chick. I guess she ran away or whatever, her boyfriend and whatnot, and her dumbass. They're driving through. When you're driving through, there's certain states where there's a lot of it's like mountainous and there's just forest and shit. They go and park in the forest, and then this bitch gonna run because she's thinking that her man is behind her chasing her. They're playing games in the forest. She gonna run, get to a little lake, take off all her clothes, and go walk up into the lake and do some swimming. Just to turn around thinking she about to see her man and they about to giggle and shit. And she sees this park ranger, Edomite. He just standing there with his hands in his pocket. Them niggas, they got the top button. If the nigga's top button is buttoned up, you gotta watch out. If you Edomite, top button is buttoned up, you gotta watch out. Yeah, they got the round hat. The shirt is tucked in, but the buckle is to his belly button. That's how you know this guy. You got to watch out, you know. And then the because the pants are so high, the trim is a little higher, so you see his socks, and then you see his shoes. The trim don't cover his shoes. That's a starter kit for Edomite danger zone right there. You got to watch that dude. He just comes in there with his hands in his pocket, and you know what they do? They got the little stomach out, and they just standing there, mad calm and shit, just watching her, quiet. And she just like, what the fuck? He's like, yo, what's going on? She got a little spoof. And he's just standing there. He says, hey, you know, you going for a little swim? Nigga, she's in the water. What do you think? You know, asking those retarded questions. But long story short, he basically tells her, he's just like, look, you know, you can't be here at this time. You know, it's a little dangerous. Why don't you come on out the water? And they stay mad calm and shit. And she starts swimming further away. He's like, listen, this her name is Amber. Amber, don't do that, Amber. And then he's, you know, he gets squats real low and shit. And then now she's saying, she's like, did you see a guy coming up here? He's like, no. And then she's like, you better watch out. My boyfriend, he's gonna kick your ass. And you know what he tells her? He's not. And then she's quiet. He's like, you know why? Because he's dead. Oh, at that point, her face changed. Now she's wondering, you're naked in the water. He's at the shore. How you gonna get out? You can't swim forever. And the nigga just standing there waiting for you, squatting. So she turns around to swim further. She turns back and he disappeared. At that point, she gets out the water. She put her shit on, and she had a gun over there. She looked for the gun. It wasn't there. So she's like, oh, she's messed up. She's trying to call her man and shit. She's stressed. She gets in the car, and she thinks she escaped because she gets in the car. She drives off. Her eyes are all blurry and shit. And all you see is the freaking camera zoom out, and the nigga's hands just coming from the back seat, just like reaching for her. And then, you know, they end it because it's a short film. But like shit like that, you know, these are like dumb scary scenes. Imagine what's going on through her mind. Now, Duke can swim, then you cook, because he's coming into the water, and that's what's gonna happen in these times. He ain't gonna stand up the shore and wait. He might, you know, or he might just come up into the water with you, you know, for a nice swim. But the point is, these are those kinds of, going back to the whole point about vulnerability, because what was the thing that she said? Her boyfriend is gonna kick his ass. And when he said he's not because he's dead, then her whole thing shattered. She's like, okay, now she got no protection. She got no defense. She can't reach the gun. You know what you see to do with that gun? Use that gun tonight, right? She couldn't get to that gun. It's not a joke. She couldn't get to that gun. So she's like, yo, I'm defenseless. I'm basically at this guy's mercy. Now, he didn't look like a fit, you know, big dude. He was just a man. That's the thing. He was just a man. You got a lot of women that are afraid of men just because they're men. All different shapes and sizes. Dude could be a whole dwarf, you know? But he's a man. So now all of a sudden there's the fear. So in that time, they're going to realize you need a man to protect you. Yes. And a lot of them, you're going to talk about we choose the bear over them. You're going to have the bear. You know? We remember that. We remember all that. Where we at? Did you start?
Yeah, it's one more verse. Isaiah 10:7. Howbeit, he meaneth not so, neither does his heart think so, but it is in his heart to destroy and cut off nations, not a few.
Mm-hmm. And that's why they're going to bring a lot of great destruction. Remember, we're not talking about a crisis on the world is used to when 9/11 happened, there was there was a certain vicinity. And look at all the ripple effect and the damage that caused. They're now looking and they're saying, yo, people are not going to fall for one event over here. You know, and they tested the waters. They had the whole the two Muslim guys that threw the homemade supposed to be an explosive device, but didn't go off downtown. Then they had the shooting at the mosque over there. I forgot the state that it was in. But what they're seeing is the second you do it, just as quickly as you do it, people are already on it. Oh, that's a false event. Oh no, they did this. Oh no, that doesn't add up. Oh, they're trying to do this. So now they're like, look, they already onto us. So we gotta do something big. We have to do something real major. Something so major that it doesn't matter if you know it's fake or not. If they blow up freaking one thing over here, this state, that state, this state, and as you're trying to respond, half the grid goes off. Now your cell is not working, your signal. They show you that in the gray state, the trailer. You know, when the guy's talking to, or the chick sees something on the news, she calls her man, and then all of a sudden the phone signal cuts off. Now, when you do something like that and you throw people's minds off it, because that's what they do. It's one event, and the second you go to turn, boom, something else over here. And then you're going to go check the news, and boom, the shit not working. So now you just got attacked and there's no communication. There's none of that.
Hey.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I was going to add that's actually in the FEMA executive orders. In the state of a national emergency or anything happens like that, they have the ability to seize all form of telecommunication media. So your social media, your actual mainstream media, the radio, TikTok, whatever, everything's going to be shut down, all in the name of national security. So just get ready for that. All right, yeah, brothers, got it.
Are we finished that? Okay. Jump onto that.
It's the book of Second Ezra, chapter 9 and 1.
See, what you're gonna find out is the greatest stability doesn't come with the weapons you own and the food that you got stored up or even a bug out bag. The greatest stability comes with mind. Okay, it comes with what you got in here, Isaiah 33 and 6. When you watch the book of Eli, he was calm. Why? Because he had the truth, he had the answers. And when the chick saw that, she wanted to go with him. And you saw that he wasn't pressed for her. You know, he's not like, oh yeah, you know what? Oh shit, you got no, look, man, I'm going my way. The same thing they showed you in the movie Bushwick. When the chick was about to get assaulted and the janitor came in there and he basically messed him up. He messed him up and then he just kept going. He was preparing to go where he gotta go. She's like, yo, wait, where are you going? Because he was alert. You know, he was listening to the radio. He's like, okay, this is what's going on. Okay, I gotta go here. So he's packing up his stuff to go. She's like, wait, you can't just leave me here. Well, I don't know you, and you're not my responsibility, so I'm going. And then she tagged along, basically trailing behind him, like, wait, okay, well, I don't know where to go. I need to, you look like you're going, let me follow you. And that's going to be the case for a lot of people here. You're going to realize people don't owe you a damn thing, okay? Today, people act all entitled, like, oh, if my car broke down, somebody's supposed to stop and help me, you know? Then they'll go on TikTok and cry in their car and say, well, nobody stopped to help me when my car broke down. Nobody cares. Why does somebody have to? And then the interesting thing is, you sat there, you turned on the camera, and then you began to cry. You know? So were you really that hurt if you had the time? That's the first thing you did? All hell broke loose, and the first thing you did was to go on social media and cry to the public. You didn't even call 911. So you're going to find out that people don't owe you a damn thing. You could be starving, you could be shot and bleeding out. All hell breaking loose, and then it's going to come back. Somebody might run past you, stop, and then come back to you. And you thinking, oh, yes, please, and then they saw something valuable on you. And they might just pick your pockets. All right, cool. And then keep on running off. You see that shit. You see that shit all the time. Even in that game, the other one, the one that came by Arc Raiders. I'm playing that shit. I'm thinking, all right, bro, we both fighting the damn drones. The nigga just there. I'm fighting the drone. He's just there in the cut, watching me. They're watching the drone, watching the drone. And the second I go down, I bet kills the drone, comes to me, jogs around a bit. And I'm thinking, all right, revive me, because nigga, right? Bam! You know what I'm saying? Knocks me out and steals my shit. I'm like, this nigga here. So that they show you already. This is the mindset people are in. You'd be surprised how selfish people are. They don't give a damn about you. And when you're in a time of need, it's a great need. People somehow think that somebody else has to help them. They're not gonna jump in. They're gonna watch you and they're gonna keep it pushing. Somebody might try to jump in because they see a woman getting assaulted. Then a nigga pull out the hammer, right? He gonna pull out the gun, and you's gonna back off. All right, got it. I'm out of here. Because in that time, their mindset is, okay, I have a family that I have to take care of. I have to prioritize them. So I'm sorry, but you might need to lose your family so my family can live. What are you gonna do then? Anyway, where we at?
Yeah, because I spoke about that yesterday. Woman in the building that one time, I guess she was having an issue. I was in there, and she was screaming, neighbors, help. I already knew on my floor. I'm pretty sure I was the only one that was hearing that. There was other people that was hearing that as well. And she was, what are you opening the door for? That because next thing you know, whatever she has is now like Around you inviting it, you bringing it over here now. Now whatever she has an issue with, he gonna see us. So, oh, you helping them. So next time there's an issue or whatever, or you open the door, hey, don't open that fucking door. Or so, or he may come over here because you're inviting shit over there. Not everybody's to be helped like that. Actually, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Maybe y'all brothers know, but Aharon didn't know it. If you have like the CPR certificate, you know how to do CPR and all that. You may think, right, or some people commonly think that, oh, if you do that, like let's say someone's choking or whatever, and you know you do compressions, all that. I always say I ain't doing that shit. I'm not putting my mouth on nobody. But if you do the compressions and all that, you would think, oh, I'm saving the person's life, that they're gonna be fine. Don't do that shit because number one, you're not required by law to do that. If anybody was to ever force you to sit there, like I'll give you the example I gave her. Right? Let's say I know CPR, which I pretty much do, and you'd be like, yo, shout him out. That person's choking, you'll help out. You can't force me and say help him out. I can't. I don't have to do that. Right? But some people think being a good Samaritan, I should do that. That's where you get fucked up. I learned this about 2 months ago, sometime last year. Yeah, it was sometime last year, not 2 months ago. The dude was saying that you should not do that. The reason why is because you could actually get sued. You could get things for money because now, let's say the person's being there choking or whatever, and you do compressions, whatever, you don't know if the compression can actually damage the person's rib cage. So when you do that, the person could take you to court and say, yo, I can't go to work, my chest hurt and things like that and all that. So now, I can't even go to work now because he literally said it. I was just laying there dying and this guy came over here and saved my life. Yeah, and then now my chest hurt and all that. So now I can't. But you thinking, yo, I know CPR, I could save someone's life. Don't do that. He even told me the story. He said a family member took took him to court for $500,000. Yeah. He said, yo, his family member helped him out from when he was choking. He was like, yo, you really gonna do that? You really gonna take him to court for $500,000? He's like, yep, I am. And now he wasn't lying. He was like a straight face. He's like, this may sound funny to you. This may sound like an unbelievable story, but he was like, yes, it was actually true. Another family member took another family member when they performed CPR to save their life. You thinking, yo, it's my family. I'm not about to have you die. Mm-hmm. I'm taking you to court for $500,000.
That's crazy work.
And yes, I'm gonna do it. And you thinking that, hey, if you do the CPR on somebody, you think you're doing a good thing. No, they can take you to court for that. And then you say, my chest, I was just here dying, and he came and saved my life. Oh, the reason what's on that is I seen something on my laptop where I had it playing on the side, and there was a woman, she had some stuff in her hand. She had high heels on. She was going down the stairs, and she was about to fall flat on her face. And luckily, as she was falling, Jake came in and stopped her. She sued that dude for $250K. Yo, mind you, she had stuff. Your whole face was about to be done. Oh, well, I was about to fall and my face was about to be splattered, but he came and stopped that. I got sued for $250K.
Crazy work.
That's why, like I told him, people wonder, why are you so nonchalant? Why? Because that same reason why. It's not because that whole nice thing. Nah, I ain't doing that. I sometimes see people struggle. Sometimes I come off the train to be having the cart. You gonna struggle with that shit because I don't want to help, and you like, get away from me, nigga. Nah, I'm good. I already understand the face, the hair. I see you struggling. I ain't helping you nothing unless I say, hey, you need someone. Like, yeah, thank you. Then all right, but unless I don't really help people with nothing, I ain't doing that good Samaritan stuff. That nice stuff is gonna get you in trouble. Don't like that CPR expression when he said that. He's like, yo, I'm telling you, if that ever happens to you, don't say you wasn't one. Don't do that CPR shit thinking that you're doing a good Samaritan stuff and stuff like that. Nope.
Yeah, they show you also in the Book of Eli. I think it was in that movie where the chick was in the middle of the road pretending like she needed help, and then if somebody would stop by, somebody would stop by to help her, then the crooks come out, and then they're like, oh yeah, got this nigga, and then it's over for you. So just like you were saying, man, in that time, we only dealing with we going off of the spirit, and the spirit of the Lord might say, look, nah, don't help him, don't touch him, leave him. And this is somebody going through something crazy. Oh my gosh, help, please. And the average mind might think, yeah, let me go and help him. And no, because the Lord is like, no, that's not somebody to be delivered. That's somebody that I'm putting judgment on. So don't intervene. And at that point, hey, look, that's fine. We're not doing that. Because it takes a lot more to have to. All right, so what happens if you intervene and you help this person out? Now you got to continue helping this person out. You got to continue taking care of them. You gotta make sure they're protected. They got to make sure they're fed. Like all your whole plans go out the window because now there's another extra person on you. Like in the Boondocks, I forgot what season it was. I got you. They had the fried chicken flu. Oh, I got you. They had the fried chicken flu, and Huey came up with a plan for him, Riley, and Granddad. That's it, because that was his family. And then next thing you know, this guy comes in with this person. And this guy comes in with this person. And the neighbor's in here. And he's like, yo, the plan was not for, it was only for 3 people. Exactly. And then he tried to improvise, but the next thing you know, the freaking gangster rapper from across the street, you know, now he's up in here. And now he's bringing his friends. And now the whole thing goes to shambles, you know? So in that time, man, hey, you gotta be like Rick, you know, in The Walking Dead. You gotta become like Rick to the point where you gotta be cold on certain things. Cold cut. If this is what the Spirit says do, it doesn't matter what the hell you're saying or seeing. This is what the Spirit says do. That's what you do. End the story. We have way too many accounts in the scriptures of people who don't listen to the Spirit, and then it ends up not going well for them. But so like I think, who was it? Yeah. Okay. Quick point.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, in Jacob's trouble, you're gonna see all types of things happening great. And if you intercede, you're getting in the way of the judgment of the Lord. So the Lord can judge you for that. So you have to know how to mind your business in that day. And that day we're gonna have a cold heart, man. You know, and righteous. Now the Lord may have it to where somebody will be elect, you know, that's all up to the Spirit. But for the most part, you're gonna be minding your business. You know, motherfucker might be getting done in right there. You just step right over. Yep, I'm on my way. Help! You're not gonna help me. Well, I thought you didn't need a man. You didn't need the Lord. You didn't need a man. You didn't need nobody. So you go on with your bad stuff. You got it.
You just gonna take out. Let me call a bear for you. What you want, grizzly or polar?
Got the bear on speed dial.
That's it.
Hey, I got a quick one here. This is a book of Nahum, chapter 1, verse 7. It says, the Lord Yahweh is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knoweth them that trust in him. All right. So going back to the point you made, and there's one of our beloved sisters, she's probably still here. All right. And she had a dream some time ago about, you know, a scenario where all hell broke loose, and she was with us. It was myself, you, and a few brothers as well. And it was like a family type, you know, and we were walking and we got to a convenience store. And of course, after we're done with what we had to do and we left, the whole entire place turned black. All the things started to rot. Like life was just dead as soon as we left. Right. And that was a spiritual, very spiritual, because it shows you that the Lord could really do that. Right. And I believe that's a vision, because, you know, we've had dreams that's kind of similar to that as well, where we're in a group and things happen and the Lord delivers us all the time. And I was talking to Shalimar yesterday, and we're actually talking about scenarios like that, where you have people now starting to catch hell, and they're going to be reaching out for help, because they're always going to remember what we said to them, even if it's a decade ago. All these things happening is going to remind them of the warnings that they received that they never took heed to, right? And that's just human nature, right? So you're going to have especially women who are going to be playing victim just so they can get the stupid nigga to come in there and save them, right? But on this side, you ain't gonna find no stupid nigga, because everything is accounted for. You know, there's a head count, there's a specific head count that the Lord has, and if you're not part of that head count, you're not gonna make it. Okay, He's not gonna pair you with a man of the Lord just so you can come in and take up His resources. That's not gonna work. Okay, you're not gonna be fit for that. You know, a lot of women remember this, that you have to follow a certain protocol to be around a man of the Lord. Okay, and if you're a woman who doesn't have those qualities that is required for you to be amongst us, you're not going to make it around us, man. That's just what it is. Okay, we're not going to be tolerating attitude problems, right? We're not going to be tolerating somebody who does not believe what we believe in. If you don't believe in the truth, or you don't believe in Yahweh Bashim trying to tell with trouble, you can't be around us. You're not going to be around us. All right, you could play pretend all you want. You're going to end up like in the story of what's this kid? Achan, I think that was his name, the son of Carmi, the one who took the Babylonish garment. And then when the Lord told us to go destroy, I think it might have been Jericho. Yeah. And what happened when we went to war against, I believe it was Ai, right? We got cooked. And Joshua he's disheveled by that. So when he spoke to the Lord, what did the Lord say? The Lord said, yo, get your ass up, man. What you doing? I'm not even trying to see that. Get up and go to the people and go find out what the hell is going on, because there's something going on that I'm not happy about, right? We don't want to be in that case. You're going to bring a female, or she might have a fat ass or whatever, and then you bring her in talking about, hey, she might not be of the elect, brother, but, you know, she could be of use to us. She ain't of use to us, nobody, man. She's going to be a demon, and then bring some judgment upon everybody. We don't want that shit, right? So we always going to think about it like, nah, The Lord has a specific group of people at a specific time in a specific place. If you're an outsider, you're not going to make it through. Okay, because like we read in Nahum, I'm bringing that back. Okay, in Nahum 1:7, the Lord Yahweh is good. Okay, he's not going to be going for people who call good evil and evil good, like that bitch. You about to fall face first. Somebody hold you up. That's a good deed. You turn that into an evil thing, man. You paying good with evil, man. People like that going to be destroyed. Okay, you're taking advantage of a fraudulent, fucked up system, which is the American system, man. The injustice system. Okay, it says, and it's the same system that you had back in Rome. You could put innocent people to death. Look what they did to Yahushua. If it was a righteous system, Yahushua would have never been put to death, man. All right. It says here, the Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble. And we're entering into a time of trouble. And he knoweth them that trust in him. All right. So the trust in the Lord is not something that's going to happen overnight. Like you see all hell breaking loose, all of a sudden you trust in the Lord. Nah, it's something that's been building over time through faith. Okay. All the way in the time where it was good to the time where it's about to get real evil. You've been building up your faith in the Lord. You've been building up your faith. So now he's very familiar with you. You know, so when the time comes, when we call upon the Lord, he's going to hear us, man. Like King David said, hear my cry in the time of trouble. The Lord's going to hear us, man. And he's going to deliver us. Okay. So we're going to be good, man. We're not caring about these people and their bullshit. Let them go back to Egypt for help. We're going to always go to the Lord because we know where our help is, man. All right. That brother's got it.
Just to add to the point of what the brother's saying, you know, you got, like the scripture say, know to whom you do good to. This is one story here. I'm going to just read two. It says, a lifeguard was sued by a mother for $500,000 after saving her drowning son. Your son is drowning. Now imagine if, like you would say, nobody's helping. Somebody help me, I can't. But now the lifeguard comes and does what he's supposed to do, which is literally his job to do that. Now you want to sue him for half of what the hell is wrong with you? So now it's like, I should just let your son back.
But you know what? That's also a property of a messed up system, because why is that legal?
Got children that sue their parents for being born. I didn't have to be here. Yeah.
What?
Oh, I don't know how far it went, but it was the fact that somebody even thought that they could do that and they took it to court. Like, and imagine doing that in the ancient time. You come before the Levites and the judges. Like, man, stone this nigga. What are you talking about?
Oh, I'll fix
Grab
that
some
real
stones,
quick.
man. We're gonna fix your problem, nigga. You don't want to be here no more? Great. Come here. Drag your ass in front of the town, in front of everybody, and your parents be the first one to stone your ass, man. You're gonna be grateful, man. But that's like you said, a product of a wicked, evil, corrupt society, man.
Yeah.
The corruption of America is so deep and entrenched in it. The only remedy is fire. That's how wicked of a place this is. Even Nineveh, they repented and the Lord had a little mercy, right? And that was still a wicked place too, but they repented. But at the end of the day, look at this place. That's why the only remedy is going to be Sodom and Gomorrah. You know, to the deepest hell. That means, but below the earth is going to be, you know, on fire and melted, man. To the deepest part, man. To the peak of the mountain, to the bottom. It's going to be burnt.
There's another part here. It says, while Good Samaritan laws generally protect rescuers, cases exist where people have sued or have been sued after a life-saving attempt, often due to alleged injuries caused during the rescue or disputed negligence. It says famous contentious cases include Van Horn versus Watson that took place in 2008, where a woman sued her friend for injuries sustained while being pulled from a wrecked car. The fuck, dude? This is your friend. And you sued him from saving you from a wrecked car. So now, mind you, what would the conversation been if he had just left you there? Like, you was gonna leave me in a wrecked car? Oh my God, I can't believe you. What type of friend you are? But now I saved you from the wrecked car, and now you're suing me because you see a come up. What type of shit is that? That's all.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, they literally ruin society, right? It breaks trust, and it makes people. That's why partially people are individualistic now, and at most they'll take out their phone and record. And you'll go in the comment section, and it'll say, "Oh, these people are not men. They just stood there and recorded. They didn't do anything." But had the roles been flipped and they went and did something, why did he do it like that? Why didn't he do this? And if he did what you said he did, oh, he didn't. He should have done more. And if he did more, he's doing too much. Yo, you can't please Jake, bro. But you know who's gonna please him? The Lord's gonna please him, you know, with great judgment. Because at that point, you ain't gonna have anything. There's gonna be no common board to come on there and talk shit. You know, because that's what they do. They just get on the common board and they talk shit. I saw a video. Yeah, keyboard warriors. I saw a video, man. This shit was crazy. The video, you got this dude, grown man. He's probably in his 50s, like 40s, 50s. And Jake, dude, he comes home and he opens the door. He got the keys in his head and shit. He standing at the door. His wife is like, she comes out, his woman, I guess. Yeah, a big back, you know, heavy set, you know. Yeah. She wanted him heavy set. You know, she comes out, boom. You know, they got to walk along with their arms out and shit. She's like, where you been? He like, I went to the store. He's like, where you been? And she keep asking him the same thing. I went to the store. Put the keys down. Take your clothes off. She's like, take that shirt off. I'll be right back. She goes, she grabs a baseball bat. We're not talking about plastic. This is pure wooden. Pure heavy wooden baseball bat. This bitch comes out of the back. He's like, take off your shirt. So he's standing there. He put the keys down. He takes the shirt off. She comes over there. She starts sniffing him, his neck, sniffing him. Take off your pants. She got the freaking camera on record. So this guy's out here. He unbuckles his pants. He pulls it down. He got his little boxer shorts on. She's sniffing him. She can't pick up a scent of another woman. He's like, all right, I got a surprise for you. Kiss him, and then she goes to the room. And I'm here, it's like, oh, that's crazy. Not even for some fine shit. For a big, okay. So you have people on the comment board trying to justify saying, he been caught cheating many times. She just taking insurance policies. You know, she's trying to make sure that she's secure with this shit. I'm here like, yo, this is a 40-something-year-old, like this is a grown man standing there, basically like a little kid with his hands all there and shit. I went to the store. I didn't do anything. What is going on here? You know? And you read the comment boards, and what's worse than a terrible video like that is the stupid, dumb shit that comes out of people's mouths through their hands on the comment boards. And they just come on there, and majority of these videos is women. It's women coming on here saying something so stupid. Somebody comes on here and he's just like, hey, see, he shouldn't have cheated. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this is why men got it. This men. That's all you see, men. You know, this is what is allowed to transpire when you deviate so far from the laws of the Heavenly Father. When you deviate so far from what the Lord said to do and how to implement society, you create this mess. What we're living in right now, the cesspool of wickedness, this is the product of disobedience. Okay, this is the product of the fall of the sons of God. This shit that's going on here is bad. What they call at home is bad geopolitically. They commit a mess over here, then they go to another country and do the same thing over there, and they destroy the whole world. That's why they're known as the son of perdition. And that is why the judgment is coming to this place. And yet people will not consider, because they'll turn around and wonder, wait, why are things so bad in the world? Why would God do such a thing? It's because of you. He's punishing you for your iniquities. You brought this upon yourself. But no, they're not going to stop and say, oh, maybe we need to change our behavior. Of course not. Anyway, you got that in
Second Ezra.
yeah, let's get that.
There's a book in Second Ezra, 9:1, and it reads, he answered me then and said,
This is the angel Uriel, which was sent to the prophet Ezra, priest. And this is what his response to Ezra was. Go ahead.
measure thou the time diligently in itself.
So we on high alert because we're measuring the times diligently in itself. We know that we're right around the time when these last prophecies are heavy hitters. Yeah, this ain't light jabs. No, we're talking about haymakers, you know, overhands, them power hits. That's what these last prophecies are. You know, a nice kick to the liver. That MOTB comes in, bam. That martial law, a nice uppercut to your jaw, bam. You know, now you're looking, you've seen two or three of the same person at the same time. That's what these last prophecies are. Right?
And when thou seest part of the signs pass,
So how do we measure the times diligently? Well, we're living in the times now, right? So we're seeing the things that are going on. So one, you need to know what it is that you're trying to measure, and what are you measuring it with? So we know what the scriptures say. We read the scriptures. We see what's going on now. We overlay the scriptures on the real world, and then we get to see, okay, this is where we are. That means this is what's coming next, and that and that and that. Oh, okay, cool. So we can see how we are progressing to that time. That
which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
So the Lord is visiting the world now. We know we're in this very same time when the Lord is visiting the world which he made. That's why we don't got plans for 10, 15, 20 years down the line. Oh, where do you see yourself, 20 years down the line? You want to, start a family, you want to settle down somewhere. Maybe we can move to a farm somewhere. There's going to be no farm somewhere on this land. There's going to be desert. It's going to be destroyed. And they keep asking, where do you see yourself? We don't see ourselves here in 10 to 15 years. Okay? You don't see why are you even asking a question like that? Like that's the first thing that comes to mind. Like, don't you see what's going on? Why are you even asking a question like that? So go ahead.
Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world.
Are we not seeing uproars of the people in the world? We're seeing uproars of the people everywhere. Yahushua mentioned the love of many, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. The love of many is waxing very cold right now, and we're literally we're in the time of anarchy. Okay, a time without rule. Go ahead.
Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee.
So the Lord gave the word, and then it was scribed down, right? So that the Lord orchestrated events, they were written down. He gave the prophets visions, they were written down. He gave instructions, they were written down. So that's why when we see these things happening, immediately what comes to mind, you don't even have to try to think about it. Immediately it will come to your mind. When you start hearing things about, this whole Iran war, immediately the scriptures are popping into your head. Oh, that's Ezekiel this. Oh, that's Jeremiah, Isaiah. Oh, this, so on and so forth. Because we well understand that this is the time wherein the Lord spake because of the signs. We've seen part of those signs. So we know, okay, this is the time we're in. Go ahead. So we quite literally know the future. And that keeps us stable because we know the future, but we also know what to do. Go ahead.
Even from the beginning.
Now, one thing I will say is, knowing is good, but believing is better. Okay. So you got to know, but you got to believe these things. Because now we're coming to the point where your actual life decision is going to be based on these things. Some things it's easy to speak about before it gets close. But when it gets close, you get to the point where you're like, yo, damn, I'm really about to do this right now. Yeah, you are. And you better be. You get to the point where, it's one thing to talk about, hey, if I gotta die for Yahushua, then so be it, until you actually there and you see the guillotine and that shit got like dried up blood on it. You like, oh shit. This is my first time seeing this in person, and now you whether it's walking up the stairs, whatever it is, you're seeing that shit. And in times like that, each second feels like a freaking hour, where you're just like, yo, your heart is beating and you're looking at that thing right in front of you. And you just like, whether they got your hand side or whatever, you just like, you got to take step after step after step. And you're just getting closer and closer. You're seeing it. And time is moving forward, might kick you in your knees and then boom, now you're literally in position to have your head chopped off. And now you're at a point where you're like, yo, literally any second now, this shit about to happen. Like, this is real. I feel the freaking coldness of this damn blade. You know what I mean? Like, I hear this shit.
Hey, do you know that they actually have right now, the government has something known as digital guillotines, where they've had it for years, but you don't need an actual person to man it. As soon as you get there, if you don't have the CHIP, before you get to that point, they're gonna ask you, "This is your last chance. Is this the last offered cup? Like, you take it, you're good. If not, you know where we're going." And once you get to that point, it's almost like being sentenced to a death penalty. That's literally what it is, a death penalty. But instead of the lethal injections that they'll give you, or the death squad, the firing squad, they'll just put you in a guillotine, and it's gonna be happening to millions of people. Okay, they have it on the docket right now. There's a lot of military bases around the country that has guillotines ready to go. There was one base that had over 30,000 guillotines that's just sitting there. I'm like, damn, what the fuck? Like, is that going to be like the main killing base, like the slaughterhouse or some shit? But they have that. They have it ready to go, man. So prophecy is ready to be fulfilled. Revelation, the 20th chapter, tells you about the men that were beheaded, all right, for the name of the Lord. So we know it's going to happen. right? But also remember that this is not the first time that's happened. The Apostle Paul got his head chopped off, right? John the Baptist got his head chopped off, right? So it's nothing new. I believe Apostle James, he also got his head chopped off, right? If I'm not mistaken. So it's a thing that's happened in the past to men of the Lord, powerful men of the Lord, and some of those men are back here again, right? They might or may not face the same fate. Who knows? But we know it's appointed for certain men to go through that as martyrs. Okay, you're not gonna die just a wasteful death. No, you're not gonna die as one of the sinners. You're gonna be dying as a martyr. Okay, and that's a badge of honor, if you ask me. It's not easy, but it's one of the greatest ways to thank the Lord for His sacrifice that He did for you. Lord, I'm willing to sacrifice my life, like that. You know, that's a different type of bravery, man. But Lord willing, hey, if we one of those men that have to deal with it, it's to the glory of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, brothers got it.
Yeah, just like the brother said, and it's really about what's going on in your mind at that point in time, right? Like Stephen was getting stoned. Getting stoned is not it's not fun. All right, it's like the ancient world of firing squad. It's not fun. You're getting hit, and it's a slow, painful death. You don't know when where the next stone is gonna hit. These people are freaking hurling that shit, But he didn't even feel the pain because of where his mind was, So in that time, you're either gonna look at it in the carnal sense, and when you look at it in the carnal sense, you're gonna start backsliding. If you ever seen like an actual animal backsliding, it's like when you let's say you got the rope on its neck and you're trying to pull it forward, and then it plants both feet, and then it's like dragging, like it doesn't want to go forward, and it's trying to like step back, But usually when you drag it, it's sliding forward, but it's trying to go backward. That's what these animals do. But you don't want to be like that, because what happens is you're going, and now you're having the ultimate battle of fear and faith. And if fear starts to win, your steps start to slow down a bit, and then you start to rethink shit. Then the demon's like, yeah, got something. You know what I'm saying? It's like jujitsu. Like you the second you give a little, I got the hand. Oh, it's over. This ain't going in the arm bar. Quick. That's what them demons are trying to do to you. So they're gonna get up in there. They're gonna be like, look, yo, it's not just you. You know what I'm saying? You leaving your 2-year-old daughter behind. You know what I'm saying? You leaving your wife behind. Who's gonna protect them? Look at this dangerous world. You don't even know where they are right now. All that shit is gonna start, and then while you're thinking that, you're gonna hear on the speaker, you know what, we're feeling generous. We'll give you one last chance. You gonna take that thing? But if you have faith that's winning, you're not looking at this as like death, I'm about to die. No, it's just the Lord. You really just look at your house is calling you. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, your house is calling you. You gonna run away from me? Bro, come on. This is the door. And that's quick. Think about it. Like, okay, I got you, bro. Yep. You have been laboring for God knows how long, right? 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. And the very thing you've been laboring for, you're now a couple of seconds away from it. In your mind, listen, if this is my fate and I'm right here, and the second that thing comes down on my head, that part right there, I'm sealed. I'm good. I have a crown that's for me. I know I'm getting the crown. I don't have to go through anymore. No, I know I'm getting a crown and I'm coming back for it. And I know everything that comes with. Remember, everything you've preached about, everything you've dreamt about, everything you wake up and when you're sick, you do lessons. When the season is cold, you out here in the freezing, you out here speaking. It's hot, you sweating bullets, you speaking. You've been reproached for this word. Everything you've gone through was for that. You mean to tell me you're gonna stand there and cave in? If you cave in, you throw all that away. You throw 30 years of hard work, 10 years, 15 years of sacrifice all away in one moment. Or you say, fuck it, I'm this close. I might as well do it. And the second that happens, boom, you close your eyes, good.
I was just gonna say, if you bold in that day, you're gonna be in the lake of fire.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that's coming. So really, that's merciful because it's like boom, it's an instantaneous death. The lake of fire, that's why the Lord said that He has power to cast you into everlasting fire. Basically, that could feel like an eternity when you're in that fire. So you done kept your integrity to this time. At that point, hey, you got to keep holding on, man. And having the faith and the belief, that if you don't, you're going to get burned in the missiles anyways. So you might as well take the fast track to the chariot. That's all it is. It's a fast track to the chariot. And then from that, you're good. You with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua from that point on, man. You set for eternity.
For all eternity. You got to think about that, man. There is no redo, All right, there is no tomorrow. You know, that's literally where we are right now. There's no redo of this. Okay, you right now you still have time. Okay, because we're going ahead. But just know that there's a line we're all about to cross. That once you cross that line, you cannot go back in time. You may have done something real embarrassing in high school. You may have fumbled this 10 out of 10 baddie that you could have been with right now. And you think about that from time to time, like, damn, yo, if I could go back, man, I'd change that. But that's okay. You can meet an 11 out of 10 baddie, and then be like, damn, she's even better. I'm okay now. It doesn't work that way in the kingdom. If you fumble this bag, this crown, you're not gonna meet a better crown in the kingdom. You're not gonna get a chance to redo it in the kingdom. You're not gonna get any of that. This is your one and only chance. And it took how long for us to get here? I'm not even talking about us in this lifetime. I'm talking about all the things we did in all the past lifetimes, the thousands of years of working for the Lord, all waiting and waiting and waiting till this very moment. That's how long it took to get this one opportunity that we have. And you're gonna throw that away, you ain't getting it back. And what's gonna happen is in the kingdom, you're gonna see the magnitude. Right now, the Lord hasn't really opened up the how magnificent the work we're doing is. You don't really see it. It looks like it, but you don't really see it. But from as all hell is breaking loose into the kingdom, and the level the Lord puts his elect on, we're talking about all of existence. It like intergalactical, wherever there's life, you will be known. Okay, that's the level the Lord is going to put his elect on. And if you are somebody that was in this truth and you fell out in the kingdom, you're going to feel worse than somebody who was never in the truth. Because you're going to know, yo, it wasn't just within my grasp. I actually held it. I was holding on to it, and then I let it go. Imagine being in the playoffs, in the final, not in the playoffs, in the final, Super Bowl, right? And your team is tied. You catch the freaking winning ball, and right before you step into the freaking touchdown zone, you drop that shit. Like one more step, and you just drop the ball. And then the buzzer beats, and now you cook.
It's just like in Blue Lock, when Isagi, he had a clear shot, but then he passed it to his teammate, and he regretted it. Like, what if I had taken a shot? Yeah.
You're taking that. It's a soccer anime. You should have scored that goal. But how you gonna feel at that point? You gonna remember that whole, because you're gonna play it back in your mind for the rest of your career. And even if afterwards you score better plays, you're gonna play that moment back in your mind for the rest of your career. Like, yo, I was like my foot was up in the air, and it was like half a second away from stepping in the touchdown zone. And look at all the things I would have had, but I dropped it. And that's just a carnal example of what it's like to back out at that very last moment. Ain't got no reason to do so. What else is there in this world? I mean, right now, look at the world today. What actually is there that you're like, yo, I'm ready to fight for this in this world? Even people in this world got nothing to fight for. They got nothing to look for. They go to work, they're miserable. They go to the club, they're miserable. They're in relationships, they're miserable. They're at home, they're miserable. Everything they do is miserable. The memes are not funny anymore. The music is trash. The food tastes worse than the sounds of the music. And the people's attitudes are worse than everything about that. So there's nothing really good to look forward to in this world. That's why people are so angry all the time. And so what is there? What incentive is there for you to not want a better world? And that's why I got you, bro. And that's why when we see these signs, they're talking about doing this, the economy's collapsing. It's not because we want to live in a world where the economy is terrible and we're all suffering. Nobody wants that. But we're just tired of a wicked society that is oppressive, it drains you just by waking up every day, you feel drained. We're tired of that. And this is the change that takes that away. So that's why we're excited for that. It's like having a injury, and the day for your surgery to fix it is coming up. You're not excited about the surgery itself. You're excited about feeling better afterwards. And that's what it is. That's what we're looking forward to.
The righteous take rulership. The world rejoice. Right now, the wicked is in rule and mourning. That's why everything seems so miserable. But we looking forward to that future event when the righteous is in rulership. Because we know it's going to be an everlasting fulfillment of enjoyment, right? So right now, everything that you do, like the brother said, is you're in misery with it, right? Whether you home, relationship, job, even vacation, you got to worry about
Right.
terrorists. So it ain't nothing that you can get out of that's going to get some type of fulfillment or joy, even though you try hard to look. Right now, we coming into the point of this system being over. We looking forward to the righteous ruling so we can rejoice properly.
Yep. Yeah, I just saw something here. Well, two things actually. First one is it says Trump threatens to send ICE agents to U.S. airports to serve as TSA agents amid the DHS funding lapse. First off, they're gonna be there looking for reasons to take your ass and freaking put you in a ICE camp or deport your ass. And the airport is a worse place for everybody. Gonna be, I ain't traveling. I ain't going nowhere at this point. But you know what?
Hey,
That's what they wanted from the jump.
that's a funny trick to bring in that biometric visa entry exit system because now they'll be there to enforce it. It's very funny, but we watching. Go ahead, bro. You got it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you're not gonna be able to do that with regular TSA agents. So it's interesting that he's saying that. Now the next thing here says Iran could have capability to strike London, Paris, or Berlin per Daily Mail. So Israel just said that they're going to intensify attacks on Iran. Now that's why the scriptures say they're going to come in raging in wrath like a wild boar. We're watching, but raging to what extent? Are you going to freaking blow up the what do they call that thing in Paris? The Eiffel Tower? Yeah. Are you going to drop? Because they said parks, recreational centers, tourist areas are not going to be safe anywhere worldwide for their enemies. So imagine that. Boom. The hell happened over there? They said Iran shot missiles over there into London. What the fuck? It's gonna be crazy. But you go ahead with that.
This is Second Esdras. It says 709.
97.
Chapter 9, verse 7, and it reads, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works.
You see that? Be able to escape by his works. And we're doing those works. Okay? Believing in the Lord and following his instructions, that's a part of doing the works that is going to get you salvation. See that? So it's not just about saying you believe. You got to show the Lord you believe. Go ahead. And Abraham just told the Lord, oh, Lord, no, I believe you. But I'm not going to sacrifice Isaac. I'm sorry about that. Would that have been counted to him as righteousness? No. Because where's the faith at? Show me you believe me. Go ahead.
And by faith, whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the impending perils, and shall see my salvation in my land.
So how are you going to be preserved? By your faith in the Lord. See that? So it's important to have faith. Go ahead.
And within my borders, for I have sanctified myself from this world. Then shall they be in pitiful case who have abused my ways.
Yeah, you got a lot of people that have abused the ways of the Lord. How do they do it? By mocking the Lord, not following his instructions. He gives you things that are used for righteousness, you turn it into wickedness. Guess what? Judgment is going to come for you. Right?
And they who have despised and rejected them shall lie in torment.
And that's what's getting ready to happen to a lot of people. And it's going to be, you brought it upon yourself. And you're going to, it's going to be just like that SpongeBob episode, man. Because you know why Squidward ain't get no food from the clan? Because he was making fun of it in the beginning. He said, "Are you gonna listen to a freaking conch shell or whatever they call that? What the hell is that gonna do with you? That thing." And then he was making fun of it. And like, that stupid laughter he does with his nose and shit. That's what he was doing. So eventually, when the food came, what happened? Hey, can I have a set? Nope. Can I? Nope. 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 He ain't getting shit. That's what we're gonna realize. They're gonna realize, oh, the same God that Hebrew Israelites was talking about. That's who's keeping them good. You see them Hebrew, they good, bro. Like, I saw one last week, and he looking good. Like, we all starving out here, and he's fine. So now you go, you think I could get it done? I'm sorry, man, you can't get shit. I ain't sorry, you can't get shit. It's the same God that you mock. You're gonna realize that is your salvation. But wait, how do you come back to that God now? You don't. He's coming to you, but he's not coming with deliverance. So he got something for you. Go ahead.
Verse 10. For such as have not acknowledged me and have received benefits in life and loathed my law while they were yet free to repent.
Right now, you're still free to repent because the judgment hasn't come yet. So you still have the ability to say, okay, you know what? You're right. You're right. A lot of things are going on in the world, and you know what? You're right. I am doing a lot of wicked shit. And I gotta stop. I'm afraid of what's about to happen. So what is it I have to do to serve the Lord so that I can be delivered? It's not really hard. I'm not saying you gotta go freaking bring us your 401k. Just change the wickedness that you're doing. It's gonna benefit you. Plus, it doesn't hurt. You know, it doesn't hurt to at least be good with the Lord. So when shit hits the fan, you got at least something, you know. But it says what? They had a place of repentance. They said, no, I don't want to hear about that. No, I'm all right. Go ahead.
And time for repentance was still open to them,
Mhm.
and yet recognized it not.
Yeah, that door is closing quick. Very, very, very quickly. It's closing very quickly. And it's going to be completely shut when you start calling to the Lord and nothing but bad things is happening to you. You're going to realize you can't repent at that point. Not even the mercy of Manasseh is going to save you in that time. Go ahead.
But despised it. The same must after death recognize it in torment.
Yeah, and in the KJV it says the same as know it after death by pain. So you're gonna realize it, but it's gonna be through pain and suffering. That was it on that, you know. And that's the times that we're coming into. So stay on high alert, you know, because they're getting ready to do something and they're escalating this thing. But it's really the Heavenly Father that's escalating it behind the scenes. He's letting us know, look, I'm closing the show. You know, when the movie's about to end, the little background music starts getting a little louder and louder and louder. And then eventually, boom, that's it. That's where we at right now. The movie's about to end. And these final prophecies, man, don't think that it's going to take forever. No. We're talking about high impact, high speed, high, intense delivery in a short period of time. That's what's about to happen. You guys got anything else before we close it out? Got it.
That's why it says, and they shall not escape. You got it.
That's it.
Hey, be remain circumspect and keep doing what you're doing. That's it.
That's right. Beautiful. So yeah, with that, we're going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak, Wadash. Until next time, Shalom.
One.